everyone, Alaska here, and I have the prologue for Atlas Lost for you. And Atlas Lost is a sci-fi fantasy. It's a romance that I have coming out hopefully at the very beginning of January. So let's get into this prologue. And it is in Atlas's point of view, just so you know. Before birth, we all choose our soul's mission. Most of the time we don't remember. We go through life ignoring intuition, jumping from one longing to another. Travel, adventure, love. Love encompassed many things. It was a look, a gesture, a wave to provide reassurance. Love was of the divine. It didn't judge or intentionally inflict harm. The emotion provided fulfillment to those it came into contact with. One could say it was a universal term for a definition of good. It taught, nourished, and alleviated doubt. It was believed love had the power to heal the most damaged soul. What no one cared to mention was that it was also the soul's destruction. Love was blinding, consuming, a killer. To lose love brought an agony worse than a million torturous deaths. Once I had known nothing but love. My life was the epitome of perfection, just as I had made sure of when I moved us from our home planet of Paltenia to provide safety and survival to my people. Born into the Paltenian race, we were mostly a peaceful species. We were raised to believe in the pureness of all things despite the constant attacks we underwent. Where some, like our enemy the Rye, viewed us as weak because of our stance, that did not make us naive. We were far from ill-equipped if faced with threats. The Paltenian had some of the best fighters of all known beings, not only because of our gifts, but because of our mindset. Protection was ingrained. It came from the depth of our devotion to one another. That devotion is what made me lose everything. Love was my downfall. Music drifted in the background, joining with the laughter as we celebrated our 1-year anniversary in our new home and inner Earth. The planet was more populated than I had expected, and our territory was small, but we were happy underground, finally safe away from the Rye who wouldn't let the past stay far behind. 1, 2... Shouts went up as everyone lifted their glasses in the crowded room and drank back the hello shoe heavily. I laughed, smiling at my sister as her glass rose toward me. Kalu was all I had left of family. We were all that were remaining of the royal Paltenian line. Cousins, aunts, uncles, my parents, all died in the last Rye conflict that had nearly destroyed half of our race. It was also the moment I knew if we didn't leave our home, we'd end up dead too. Burning from the dark amber liquid had me swallowing hard and wincing as I laughed through the drunken effects. We were all gone, all intoxicated more than we should have been. Where's my queen? Leonie. I turned, searching our connection as mates. When her presence registered, I knew she was probably mingling somewhere close. Leonie was known to be social. She was the smile in the room when times were tough, the comfort when others were grieving. I calmed, reaching out as the warriors approached me to shake my hand. The room tilted under my feet, and I blinked through the sensation, once again filling out telepathically. I wasn't able to connect before the screams accompanied my suddenly racing heart. Nia? No, Nia! Nia! My mates yelling for our daughter was barely an echo in the royal hall. The battle-laced cry from a mother was enough to have everyone stiffen on guard. The fact that it was the queen had more than just me withdrawing my weapon. Her voice had never sounded so scared. Like a mist, a terror-filled energy blanketed us, prickling ice-cold energy. Stabs of panic speared me to life, even as I raced from the large stone entryway of our new kingdom and into the small valley outside. I tried to push into Leonie's mind. A dark tent merged with the green surrounding trees as two visions became one. Our connection was somehow blocked. Leonie, Nia. Men and some of the female warriors came up as I slowed. Panicked, I grasped to the tie that connected us at the core. Ripples raced over my skin, and I broke off into a sprint to the right. The Earth, a planet we'd only been at for a year, looked suddenly alien and unfamiliar. It blurred as an unexplainably sharp force stabbed into my chest, puncturing my heart. Stumbling, my feet refused to carry their quick cadence. I was merging with Leonie, clawing at her link until I was seeing and feeling the agony she was suffering through. Colors blinded me, a face, dark, scaly, yellow eyes. A wide reptilian mouth pulled back into it, forming a smile. Blood washed over my tongue, hers, and I gasped, clutching to my chest while I continued to try to run forward. Leonie's line of sight cleared from her, pain connecting back on our daughter as her head lifted. Black hair stuck to the wetness covering Nia's flushed cheeks. Our daughter was screaming, reaching toward me and her mother, towards help. I beg of you, please, take me, kill me, don't hurt my daughter. Long dark gray fingers easily wrapped around Nia's throat as the leader of Rye let my little girl dangle in his grasp. Sharp claws from his free hand rose, slicing through Nia's cheek as he offered some form of sadistic caress. Leonie sobbed, losing air, as I could feel her try to lunge forward. It was pointless, and exactly what Rye wanted. He wanted me to see, to feel. He knew I was watching. I didn't take the Paltinians to be cowards. Did you tire from our games? One moment he was looking at my daughter, the next he thrust Nia's body forward. Tiny legs kicked out in an attempt to break free. Even her fists were swinging to make contact. Nia had always been a warrior, just like her mother. Leonie refused to step down from leading troops because she was my queen. Even pregnant, she stayed on top of everyone's training. Angrier, I roared, barely realizing I was running at a blurring pace, running blind. Using all my intuition to search out my daughter and mate's energy. Leonie was barely hanging on. Death was approaching, and with it, a part of my heart was dying too. Love. Love had done more than get my mate and child killed that day. What our race believed in was put to the ultimate test, and Rye almost got what he wanted. More war. 4 days had gone by. My daughter and wife had been cremated to be with our ancestors. Even now, as I stared at my people, I could still smell the smoke. It clung to me, calling me home, calling me far away from this hell I was now living. I was numb, completely numb from grief, and from what I knew I had to do. You can't be serious. Atlas, you have no choice. To stand down will only give Rye the excuse to try again. Leaving Paltinia didn't help us. It didn't solve our problems. They only followed us to this planet. What if he kills my mother next, or Kelu, your sister, or if we go to war, Lou, they're dead anyway. Is that what you want? You think we can't win? Russo's eyes narrowed as he stepped from the crowd toward the throne I was seated in. His life force made itself known, adding pressure against mine, but I easily ignored the slight threat he was posing through anger. We are under a peace treaty on this planet. We do not know this land. We are not fully equipped to go to war. Do none of you see what is happening? This is what Rye wants. Then we give it to him. Even without sufficient weapons, the Rye don't stand a chance against our powers. I swallowed hard, ignoring the aching cramp in my chest. Powers? What powers? My gifts were gone, dead with my family. Chakra by chakra, I felt each closing at the trauma festering inside. If anyone wanted revenge, it was me. Love of my people, a lifetimes of lessons from my guides kept me rational, and it was pure miracle. But it didn't change the fact that I was useless until I let this pain and anger go. There will be no war. Then you betray your people, your queen, child. You know what this means. My sister Kelu's voice sparked fury. Tears wanted to come. They didn't. I didn't have any left to shed. The emptiness within swallowed them whole. I know what this means. You've lost your mind, Lou rushed out. You risk banishment if you don't protect us. Banishment, Atlas. I've been your friend for my entire life. You must do something. Call Rye out. Avenge Leonie and Nia. Avenge us. Standing, I placed my crown on the throne. A single emerald set in the middle of the thin gold band, glistening in the light. Green, just like the energy of the heart. I am doing something. Have you learned nothing, dear friend? Do you not think evil courses through my blood? I want war. I want death. If I ran off of pure emotion, I'd burn this universe down searching for Ryan what he's done. It will not come to that on my watch. If I act, you will all pay the price. My father had the Rye King killed. Had the Rye King and Queen killed. His son murdered my family. Blood is everything. 2 for 2. Karma is finished. This ends with me. So that is the prologue for Atlas Lost, and that kind of gives you an idea of what is going on in this world. And that's that Atlas and his people, or what was remaining of them, are now here on Earth, inner Earth, within the Earth, in Chile actually. And Rai has just killed his family. And at this point, he knows that if he reacts, he's going to get his people killed, and that will be the end of it. And as for karma, his parents killed Rai's parents, and now Rai has killed his family. And the way he sees it, 2 for 2. So he's saying that this ends, and we'll go on to chapter 1 soon.